Mick Mahan. I've been in practice 22 years on the chiropractic side of life. And I practice with my daughter in Houston, Texas. And I'm excited to be here with you tonight to talk about conscious language. And we'll definitely have some Q&A towards the end. And you guys can ask some questions, particularly on how some of this, a lot of it really applies to clinical life. So we'll go over a couple of things here, just rules of the game. You're committed, you're here tonight, so I asked you to play at 125. And what we use in that system is you're coming in, you're already at 100%. So tonight you're gonna stretch a little bit. And by stretch, I wanna ask you to really, tonight's about you waking up to your feeling world. What is it that you feel, not just physically, but in your emotions, because there really is not a difference in them, and I'll teach you about that, how they're all the same. So our starting point is this thing called conscious language. And the starting point is this. Imagine with me that every word you speak becomes flesh. It becomes every single word. So everything in your life, however you look at it, good, bad, whatever, came out of your mouth first. And when you contemplate that, I think you'll find most people come that that's 100% truth. It's certainly been true for me. So your reality is created by your language. And the good news is you and I can return to that pure speech. And that pure speech is inside you. So I want you to relax about there's no going to get, or you don't have to go do anything. This is really a process of remembering who you are. A good example is this, is when you know people that are, say, very stressed out in their life. They always got some drama going on. If you listen to them speak carefully and you understand the language aspect, you'll start to notice that more than 60%, I would say, what comes out of their mouth is what they do not choose. They speak, what do you want for dinner? Not a cheeseburger. Where are you going today? Not work, right? So you can always tell there's a charge up with all that comes with it. And they're carrying this around and they're making all these choices of not. It's the I am not versus I am. Okay, I'll submit to you, God, our God, your God, my God, is a God of what is and not what isn't. When we speak to what not is, we never get in touch with our heart's highest choices because we're either operating to make someone else happy, that I'm happy if you're happy, codependence kind of thing that's everywhere, especially around Valentine's Day. And the suppression of their heart's highest choices is really manifesting in their life into all the things they do not choose, or they use language that goes nowhere or is vague. And a very good example of a word that is very common, yet when you look at its definition, it causes a problem, and that's the word want, right? Somebody says, I want love. What they're literally saying is, I desire without having love, because the word want means to desire without having. I know I was amazed when I heard that too. And then the word need means to be without. So when someone speaks, I need, they speak to be without love. So how did this apply to me? And this is better than even talking about the mechanics. It's really my miracle. And it was just over a year ago, last January. Tracy, my wife, has had kidney failure in the past, and she had a kidney transplant, and from a beautiful friend who gave us a transplant and who gave us a kidney. And that lasted for 8 years, and it was so good for so long that I literally did not remember that was really going on in her, or even in the past. And it was very nice for us to not have that on our radar. Well, she came into rejection, and things started to happen pretty fast, and faster than any of us expected. So makes a trip to the hospital, that she's there for 4 days, then she's out, and then she's back Monday for another 4 days. And this went on 6 out of 7 weeks in a row, including a whole week in intensive care with multiple organ failure. And as a husband, I know, and a lot of you, there's fear rising up in you, and you could think, wow, what, that was me. Yeah, that was all going with me. And I was angry. I was I was in despair in the past there with that. I guess I'd come to a point of hopelessness about it. And even myself leaving the planet was looking like a really good idea. Yeah, I wanted to kill myself. And, but I knew that if I left, there'd be no one else. So I was hanging on for this really kind of outside, not me reason, although most of us would consider it honorable. And I was in my office and it was pretty busy, and I'm in the middle of this pain and not knowing what to do. My wife's in the hospital again. And I'm making a couple jokes, and they're pretty sarcastic. If some of you know me in the past, that's been a pattern of mine. And I was just, I'm in the office, I'm taking care of people. I mean, can you imagine taking care of patients feeling like that? And that's where I was at. And I had a patient, been under care 2 weeks, and he walks over to the adjusting area. And before he gets on the table, he looks at me and he goes, sarcasm means to tear the flesh. And I was like, man, I know that's true. And I didn't like it, but okay. And he goes, and it comes from the place that isn't. What? What do you mean isn't? What does that mean? He goes, fear, anger, pain. And the guy knew everything that was going on with me. And I was able to relax for a second. And I said, do you know how to get rid of it? And he said, yes, instantly. So now I'm intrigued, right? And so I meet with the guy the next week, and we sit down for an hour. And through my words and through my body language, he facilitated me. So the word facilitate means is to make easy, make difficult things easy. That's what I do. I'm called to do that. I make difficult things easy for people. So we sat down and we went through it, and he called me out on the issues I had with my father, which I thought I was over, or healed, so to speak. And it was only really a part-way thing. And he just asked me a couple questions. He said, was your father ever emotionally available for you as a child? And I said, no, I can't think of one time. And he goes, are you emotionally available for your children? And I said, yes, and to the degree I am at that time. It's much better. It's much higher now. And he said, so you learned to be emotionally available for your children from your father. And that shifted everything for me, because just a simple word change, a reverse of the word, looking at it in a different way, takes authority. And the word authority means the power to write. And you have authority. Okay, you have it. God has given it to you, and you can author. All right. And that's what we're talking about tonight, is what are you authoring? Is it life, or is it other? Okay. Less than. And we went through a couple of things with my mom, and it was great. It was rewrite. And if I look at my dad's mistakes as they were for me, that changes everything. Right? They weren't against me. They were for me. Well, man, if they were for me, I could forgive that easy. Right? I could honor my father. Easy. Because he taught me the best way he knew how. And those are the words that have changed everything for me versus alcoholic bum that was never there. You see the difference. Words matter. They make the difference. And that's manifested in me more memories of love that I had talked myself out of. And I can remember my love, and I love remembering my love. And I did grow up in a house that was full of love, the best way they could, right? And it was for me. So on the clinical side, you're able to move patients upscale very quickly, and just by helping them reverse some of the things they've been saying, particularly about their health, about their disease. That's an empowering thing for people. And they know, and they can step into authority. You can walk them right into it. And there's also a body language piece that comes with language, because body language is fairly well mapped out. And this isn't NLP or anything like that. I would say it's that times 10 or 1,000, because this is not about what's wrong, or this is not about closing a deal, anything like that. I would run from that. This is about communicating, understand with people, and about what is returning to them, not about what's wrong. All right. So a quick example, and I'll go through this quickly. So imagine the body. The head's about thinking, knowing, remembering. Your torso's about doing. Your arms are about doing, and hands are about handling. Upper legs are about going, and lower legs are about understanding. And flexor surfaces are about you, and extensor surfaces are about others. So backs are typically almost always about others, and they usually involve support and or up to the shoulder about burdens. Those are the things that are going on and what's perceived. You can walk them through their language right into their return, because those are things that are being pushed up and out through the body from years of unconsciousness and suppression and going numb to their feeling world, to my feeling world, going numb to it. That's a choice. I mean, think about our society. Everything about it is about going unconscious. Distraction, 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 and not getting to your heart's real desire. So the question is, can you elaborate on your heart's desires? They were placed there before you arrived. It's an idea. It's an idea that you are a child of light. You're an imagined part of God. You were formed by God in his image. And it's the idea that you came and you volunteered, and that this lineage is for you. It's for you to rewrite. It's for you to heal. It's for you to, in yourself first, always. Then as you forgive, I mean, my Father is forgiven through me. Right? I was able to do that. So heart's desires are your missions in life, your real high choices, your love choices. So we choose less than, catering to someone else, or catering to some degree, or catering to some being governed, or whatever it is. And those things, they bring you into a place of pain until you make the choices of your heart's desire. Does that answer your question? Let me know. Okay, so also a couple scriptures. Zephaniah, I will return pure speech to you so you can work shoulder to shoulder. That's what that's about. And really, you're only going to be condemned, and you're only going to be justified by one thing. It's your words. I know. So the first place you start is go easy on yourself, okay? Give yourself some grace and say, you know, I have spoken some things into existence that are not my heart's high choices. They've led to self-sabotage, and it's okay. I forgive myself for that. Right? And I make new choice now. I choose now to express my love, my anointed self, because that's when your heart's desires are expressed. That's the anointed you. It's nothing else. That's the anointed you in perfect alignment, because when your heart's desires are expressed, it's always in perfect alignment, and it's always based in the power of love. Your heart doesn't desire to do anything evil. Your heart desires the best, right? So I was able to use these tools too in my family, in my house, and that's where I started. It started with me, and then it starts next with my family. And in the past, I'd done a lot of things. I'd make my kids wrong, and I spoke judgment over them, and it kept those things all in existence. It was coming right out of my mouth. So as I reverse them into my highest choice, and I come from a place where it's already finished. All right? I have wonderfully beautiful, responsible, loving, conscious children. My children choose their heart's desire. They are happy. They are fulfilled. They are filled full. They express their heart's desire. They express God through their love in everything they do, everything around them, everything in them, anything they come into contact with. That's my decrees over my kids. And that's made all the difference, because those things are manifesting. I see it. They're coming to their high choices. They're coming out of their codependence. They're coming, just wonderful things I'm seeing. Upgrade very fast overnight. And with my marriage, I can choose my divine partnership with my wife through language. So here's another concept in the book that I talk about, or not my book, in the book that I recommend. The thought trinity, or the trinity of manifestation. It's the idea when thoughts, words, and feelings are aligned with specificity and emotion, manifestation is instant. And I've seen some glimpses of this as I get more and more in touch with my feeling world through my words and understand what's going on in my body, things I may be feeling, things I can go and touch. Do I have a charge up about something? What is it? I can self-coach very nicely now. And sometimes I'm tempted, man. The illusion is always trying to reboot itself. The virus in my words is constantly trying to reboot itself. I'm dangerous to the illusion. So are you. When you come in and step in your authority with your words, and that your words become flesh, and that you can create your whole world exactly the way your heart desires it. Or you can co-empower your spouse to do the same thing. And here you are both moving upscale in agreement. But I had a revelation about that. When two or more are gathered in my name, it shall be. And I always wonder, why is it two or more? And then I realized, well, to come, you have to use words. That's why. Okay? Your words are what moves. Power. Words with love and feeling behind them, that transforms the world. Suggestions for increasing awareness, thoughts, words, feelings. Very good. Two ways I can help you with that. One, I'm going to offer anybody tonight that wants to get on the phone with me for 20 minutes. That's a no charge thing. And you got to charge up about something. Something's urgent in your life, man. I'd love to talk with you. Let's reverse it and watch you and God line up. And watch the world conspire to help you. Okay. So I always suggest the book. And also tonight, I'm going to give you a link where you can get the first 3 chapters of this book for free. So you can just check it out. And why is this important to me to really have this in my clinic? I've been telling people for 22 years that subluxation is caused, misalignment is caused by 3 things: physical, chemical, and emotional. When we all have great tools on the physical. So awesome, right? What we do on the physical side, the mechanical side of chiropractic. And then we have great chemical tools, right? We know about nutrition. We know how to avoid intoxicating themselves and how to detox themselves. So we have great tools on the chemical, physical side. But what do you have on the emotion? Huh? Yeah, a joke. I love you. I'll see you next week. It wasn't really much there. I prayed for people from time to time when I was led to do that, and wonderful, and there were miracles. It just, I don't know, it wasn't a lot. So now I can have that much more consistently every day, and it's a lot of fun. Here she is, low left back pain, back's here about support. So I said, hey, can I ask you a question on the emotional side of life? And she says, sure. So I said, okay, do you have an issue? Do you have a charge up right now with another female? Because remember, backs, extensors are other people, left side's female. So I asked her, I said, do you have an issue up with another female and it's regarding support? And she's like, yeah, my boss. You know, she was like, boom, the charge was right there. And when it's emotion and you ask that question, it comes right out. Boom, there's no hiding it. And I said, okay, so I just walked her through, 1, making it okay that her boss doesn't support her. 2, can you forgive her? Yes. And where have you been looking for your support? Out there. Where does your support come from? Me? Yes. And who else? God. Yes. So say it. I am fully God supported. So we just walked her right into her anointed self. She's fully God supported. She doesn't look for support outside, because of her looking for support outside has created pain. It's created a problem for her on the emotional side. So she just resurrect that, boom, back pain's gone. And she goes on, and what does she know? She tells me her boss has stepped up to support. That's a cool report to get back. Shoulders, burdens, in left side, it's really simple. It's very profound. It's very deep, because you can walk right into their issue and move them upscale very quickly through language. And I haven't met anybody that wasn't extremely grateful for that and want to know more. Cool. So increasing awareness, 1, facilitate. If you have a charge up about something, or you'd like to know more, or just walk through something with me, just privately on my phone, and that always stays just between you and I. There's no need for anyone else to know. And see if we can't move you upscale very fast on that and into your miracle. and I'm what's called a mastery systems event facilitator. People are like, you plan parties and stuff? I'm like, yeah, kind of. No, I facilitate. People have events. When you know me, you're gonna have an event. You're gonna move upscale in something. Okay, I don't care if it's a short throw or if it's a long throw. That's what's gonna happen if you hang out with me. So, or know me. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on here. It's an awesome opportunity to spread my message and help chiropractors move up for themselves first, and then having and walking their anointed self. And when you have that, you can give it, because you can't give what you don't have. And that's exactly what I'm doing in my life. So pray and hope the same for you. Thank you very much.